If you've been around many modern relationships, you would have noticed a crucial error many women make. Some women mistakenly believe that once they are married, they should abandon all of their dreams and visions for the marriage. While others think marriage is the ultimate goal of their existence, and so once they are married, they have simply arrived. But this is wrong, and I will tell you why. Marriage is not the end goal of every woman. It is only one of the goals of God's purpose for a woman. Tradition normally demands that when a woman marries, she leaves her family and joins her husband. However, some women wrongly misinterpret this role, thinking having a husband simply means he provides while she as the wife gets stuck at home and only cares for the home and family, with no other vision or dream for herself. This has led to many women to either give up on their dreams altogether, or men who get burned out trying to provide for the entire family by themselves. When a woman is young, she aspires to become a doctor, lawyer, scientist, and all that. She works hard chasing meaningful careers that would enable her to use her gifts and talents to support her future family. These dreams are part of God's integral gift to her. But tragically, many women throughout history drop these personal goals once they get married. You see, Genesis tells us that both male and female are created in God's image, which means we reflect His creativity and purpose. Marriage does not erase those innate longings and directions inside of you. As a helpmate, your role is not simply childcare and cooking. You are called to partner with your husband, utilize both your spiritual and physical gifts, steward your interests, develop your abilities, just as he should with his. But abandoning your visions after your marriage is a fundamental misunderstanding of God's design. This is why sometimes when a husband dies, his widow struggles greatly because she had completely abandoned her own dreams and aspirations to focus entirely on the marriage. Her whole livelihood was tied to her husband, with nothing to her own name. And so when he passes away, she has nothing to show for. Worst of all, in some extreme cases, his extended family immediately show up to reclaim his property, leaving her with nothing. These in-laws assume she was not contributing anything meaningful to the household or finances. Meanwhile, she had been working silently to support her family behind the scenes. I have seen women work tirelessly only to lose everything when their husbands die, because they had nothing tied to their names during the marriage. No degrees, no certificates, no house, no land, nothing. She gets labeled a gold digger who existed to spend her husband's money yet added no substance. Now, I know this might sound discouraging, but it's the truth. Although the Bible encourages husband and wife to be one, every woman must also strive to work hard on her own merit. This way, she can always have something of her own to put in. Yes, you may need to adjust your methods because of season of life changes. And your ultimate motivation must align with serving God's kingdom. But simply tending home and family without also tending your own passion will bankrupt your spirit. You'll have nothing left to give. This explains why some men die prematurely after marriage, not through wives causing harm, but through lack of support, which causes them to burn themselves out through overwork. He alone exhaustively decides on schools, finances, and family businesses without relief. She keeps home and cares for kids which, while vital, only scratches the surface of her purpose. A wife is called to be far more, harnessing giftings and talents to lighten her spouse's load. Failure to do so leads him shouldering burdens alone until it costs him everything. As Jesus said in Mark 8, gaining the whole world yet forfeiting your soul gets you nowhere. Your kids are watching and learning from your model every day. What lessons are they really receiving about womanhood when they watch their mom slowly sacrifice cherished ambitions to accommodate her husband? They may incorrectly assume that minimizing dreams is what is expected of girls once they marry. But when you courageously go after your purpose, you broadcast a different message entirely. Your daughters see firsthand that marriage and motherhood need not strip them of passions or diminish their personhood. What's more, your sons learn to respect the innate value of the feminine spirit made in God's image. Consider Esther, who balanced her role as queen alongside her deep, God-given courage to speak up against injustice. We see Priscilla in the book of Acts chapter 18 teaching theology alongside her husband Aquila as they discipled Apollos together. She didn't abandon her intellectual giftings just because she got married. We also see Dorcas in the Bible, who was known for her good works, to the point that when she died, people asked Peter to pray for her to come back to life because of the type of value she held while she was alive. We see this perfectly displayed in Proverbs 31 with the story of the virtuous wife. Though married, she was highly industrious with her own passions and worked outside of the home while still taking care of her household. The scriptures actually attributed her husband's success to her dedication to her own pursuits, like rising up early to tend to her business affairs and staying up late perfecting her crafts. A lot of the activities she carried out was what a modern person would say is a typical male's activity. Yet she handled it like a real woman. Her example shows us God wants wives to steward their talents in ways that bless those around them. Therefore, it is unwise and unbiblical to abandon your individual dream after you get married, because your hopes and passions were given to you by God for a special purpose. Think of it like this. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, God had a special assignment and vision for your life. He carefully and intricately designed you with unique gifts and talents to fulfill this assignment. These gifts are meant to complement your husband's, so that together you can walk in greater vision than either of you could alone. For instance, maybe you are an extremely gifted businesswoman while your husband is good with negotiation. As you pursue your passion with excellence, your gifting work together to accomplish much. Had you abandoned your gifts for the sake of marriage, neither of you would have walked in your fullest potential. This isn't to say that becoming a wife doesn't require sacrifice or laying down self-centeredness. Certainly, for two to become one flesh, there must be compromise, flexibility, and yielding. However, if your individual identity and sense of purpose disappears entirely into the relationship codependency, it will be unhealthy for both you and your marriage. Yes, be wise about managing season-of-life limitations. Set healthy boundaries around your family commitments. But carve out margins to focus on interests that energize you. Whether it's writing, art, teaching, innovating, leading, go after it with grit. Don't accept one day as an indefinite placeholder. Seize each day you've been given. God wants to use every bit He's imprinted on your soul, even in the midst of busy family life. But you have to be intentional. When death comes for a husband, a widow should not suddenly find herself fighting off enemies wanting to take what she has built. It is important for wives to nurture their own abilities and passions, even within a marriage. A good husband will encourage his wife to pursue her goals and become the best version of herself. While a wife's primary role may be caring for her family, she should not completely abandon her own dreams after marriage. Wives can still own property, manage finances, run businesses, and more while married. The healthiest marriages are partnerships where both spouses contribute their unique gifts. The union should inspire each person to become more, not less, of who God created them to be. Now, obviously, some adjustments must be made once you're married. Your decisions affect another person. Your schedules may require coordination. But the key is maintaining balance, not compromising your identity altogether. Nothing should smother the dreams inside you. If it took the wrong turn, your marriage could actually hinder who God wants you to become. Ladies, marriage marks a beginning, not the end. Don't abandon the passions, interests, hobbies, and aspirational pursuits, making you who God created you to be while saying, "I do." Love is expansive, not diminutive, making more room to flourish, not less. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel.